So many different industries are being hit and it's affecting countries all over the world. I'm going to show you the information you need to know right now. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. I've got a lot to cover today, but I want to bring it to you really quickly. We're going to talk mostly about what's happening with PMIs. We're talking about manufacturing. This is extremely important. You got to look at this information. You got to look at the imports and the exports. You can see what's happening with shipping, the extreme slowdown that's occurring. If you keep an eye on this type of data, that gives you some insight as to what's happening. Let's move quickly through this. The Eurozone economy is suffering an unprecedented collapse, according to a PMI index released on Thursday by analysis firm IHS Markit. This is the one I always show you. I'll give you the report directly from the source, but they have a quote here I wanted to break down first. The Eurozone economy suffered the steepest falls in business activity and employment ever recorded during April as a result of measures taken to contain the situation. The company's purchasing managers index PMI dived to a record low of 13.5 in April from a previous all-time low of 29.7 in March. When 50 is a contraction and you're hitting 13.5, it doesn't get lower. Maybe we're going to get new numbers next month that are worse, but this is unbelievable. It's just falling through the floor. They said that the service sector bore the brunt of the hit, with hotels, restaurants, and travel-related firms faring the worst. Manufacturing also saw a record fall, however, because of staff and material shortages and severe supply chain disruptions. Employment plummeted for the second month running. Service sector jobs were slashed at the steepest rate yet witnessed by the survey, while the drop in manufacturing payrolls was the sharpest since April 2009. All of this is terrible. And you could say, well, it's only temporary, but as I've highlighted in previous videos before, it's not that V shape you were told about. It's not that soft V shape, however they want to draw this. It's not going to be like that. It's not going to be the U shape. They're now starting to talk about the W. I don't know about all of this. What other letters of the alphabet do you want to bring up here? It doesn't matter. If people are being laid off, if they're losing their jobs, if the debt is piling up, there's going to be problems. There's going to be a slowdown. How bad it is, that remains to be seen. Here's the chart where we're looking at the different PMIs. Eurozone, composite, manufacturing, and service are all terrible. Look at the service PMI, 11.7. It was already around the range of being in contraction all throughout the time in 2019. You look at this actually globally, despite what we saw with the stock market, the PMIs were looking terrible. Of course, because the economy was getting worse ever since 2018. But this is just unbelievable. Japan composite output PMI, it's also terrible, going down to a level it looks like, let's say, 27 or so. Once again, below 50 is a contraction, and it had fallen off a cliff. We're seeing this all over the place. Every country you can pull up, the same numbers are showing here, and that's because everything is shut off. They're not just going to flip a switch, turn everything back on. I think this is going to be some extreme pain for a lot of the people in these industries, as many of the businesses close up shop permanently. This goes for Japan, this goes for the US, this goes for anywhere. Speaking of the US, you could see the US manufacturing PMI, that's the blue line, and the services PMI, that's the green. Both of these have dipped far, far into the contraction territory. There's no doubt about that. I've been looking at this data. I've been covering it here on the channel for a while, showing you that from 2018 into 2019, this has been falling. Of course, there are variances as we go through every month, but it was already sinking. It was falling in and around that contraction territory, but as of this time, it is truly something of a sight to behold. Here's the US composite PMI, Eurozone, Japan, and one more. Can you tell which one makes me laugh? All right, here's the source, Market Economics. I always bring you direct source information here at this channel. If you're new here, you're going to find out that everything is sourced, everything is documented. It gives you the brief summary right here. I'm not going to read them all to you. It's just down. Everywhere you look, it's down, down, down. In the US, the numbers look like everywhere else in the world. It is a historic low, or it hasn't been this bad for years and years, sometimes decades. They give you a breakdown here, but you already know the drill. Companies are laying people off, businesses are slow, they're shut down, so on and so forth. That's all in here if you're interested in checking it out. They provide really, really good reports, and you can get this information for free at their site, marketeconomics.com. Link will be in the description under the sources, as always. Now, this one is unfortunate, but I wanted to bring it to you because of the importance here. A lot of people, they are relying on their pension, whether that's the pension or some other form of retirement account. Maybe it's their 401k. If you live in Canada, you got your RRSPs. Other places use the supers. But regardless, it's your retirement, okay? So your retirement funds are being managed in general. Let's say the average person are being managed by another company, by an institution, whether that's done by a government entity, whether it's done by a private firm. Essentially, it's out of your hands. For the majority of people, this is the way it works, and they're happy with that because they've been told at the very end of it, they're going to get that money. Aimco's $3 billion volatility trading blunder. If you remember here on this channel, I have documented exactly after that information was released, Jerome Powell stating that they have a short position on volatility. We know that already. You can see what had happened with volatility over the years. It had been declining further and further and further. Then we got to January 2018 where it spiked up like crazy. We had the whole VIX issue. So many people lost their shirts. They were dealing with some very bad times. Then we had this whole issue in 2020 where the VIX spikes upward. I said specifically, I want to pull some data. As soon as I get it, I'll give it to you. And it's going to show what's going on with all of the people that have been shorting the VIX index and how they get punished. Well, here we are. The Canadian fund pulled the plug on its volatility strategies following significant losses. The Alberta Investment Management Corp, which manage pension assets, sovereign wealth, and other public money, lost billions of dollars on wrong way volatility trades when markets crashed earlier this year, and so they shut it down. They cost pensioners $3 billion. That's on top of the substantial first quarter losses to portfolio value that nearly all public funds are dealing with. You've got a very serious issue when you're compounding all of these problems all at once and they're trying to play games with your pension money. The same thing is going on all around the world. Sure, your particular fund may not be doing this, but you'd be very surprised what these companies put their money into. I've seen derivatives being traded by many different pension funds. Watch out, know what's in your 401ks, in your pensions, know what they're doing because that's apparently your money. At least that's what they told you. And I just can't help it. I was going to leave it there with a cliffhanger. In so many cases, they cut pensions. They cut pensions. In so many cases, they cut pensions. I just want to say it to you again. I want to make it very clear. Here at this channel, The Money GPS, I have done so many different videos about the pensions being cut. I have received so much hate mail around it, and I don't care because people are going to get hurt. And I want to make sure that I've done everything I can to warn as many people as I possibly can. In the examples that I have seen, the average seems to be a 30% haircut from what we've seen so far. We had the previous governor of California saying, documented publicly, next recession, they're going to slash the pensions. Be prepared, be ready. Anybody can fall victim to this. And a little bit of humor to finish off the video. With only 6 members, I'm serious, 6 members participating, Senate passed a $483 billion spending bill by unanimous consent. You only need 6 people now, just have a small group of people. They'll decide everything. They're going to be the entire Congress, who cares? Sure, under normal circumstances, the 100-member Senate would be there to determine what happens with the money, your tax dollars, but in this case here, who cares? Everybody's going to vote for it. Another day and another bunch of ridiculous garbage. That's all for this video. If you found it informative, give me that thumbs up. If you like the ranting, give me that thumbs up. If you want to check me out on Instagram, on Twitter, find me at The Money GPS. If you want to learn how to sell online, I've got an e-course that is completely free. The other guys charge $1,000. Some charge $2,000. There's even courses that go up higher than that. But if you want mine for free, I did this on purpose for my subscribers. Just check it out at the amazongps.com. There are well over 6,000 people in the course, and I have to actually pay for this thing on that website there. So please take advantage of it while it's around. The amazongps.com. Learn about the financial system, but do it from the right sources. Make sure it's documented. Make sure you know who the information is coming from and that you can trace it back. In my 2 books, which fit into each other like a lock and key, they give you what you need to know. If you want to check them out, there's a link in the description. If you want the audiobook instead, themoneygps.com. There's so much important information in this video, and I would highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, click on it. I will see you there.